on four or so high-end properties, including an area out here in California called Topanga Canyon. And we also know that the Black Lives Matter people bought a mansion in Canada, also property in the Bahamas. But Bill, that's not even to me the worst of it. The worst of it is the very premise behind the organization, and that is that the police are engaging in systemic racism against black people. It is a lie. There's a Harvard economist, black Harvard economist from the inner city like I am, who did a study, and he found out, if anything, the police were more hesitant, more reluctant to pull the trigger on a black suspect than a white suspect.
He's right. The numbers don't lie. I know this is a little bit kind of old news, but not so old that it shouldn't be still talked about, because from what I understand right now, people are still hating on law enforcement and looking at police officers in a negative light from a narrative that's being spun that's not true.
There's a data scientist, formerly with Thomson Reuters, emphasized formerly. He went to Michigan, has an undergraduate degree in economics, went to Harvard Law School. He did a research paper, and he found out that because of the police becoming more passive for fear of being accused of systemic racism, excess death in towns like Baltimore, Chicago, New York, where they have these high-end shootings, and subsequently the police are pulling back, no longer engaging in proactive policing. It's called the Ferguson effect, or the George Floyd effect. It's getting people killed.
Being a former police officer, it's actually kind of sad. Even being a black former police officer, it kind of irritates me, the fact that BLM was able to push this false narrative, all for profit, all for money. And the sad thing about it is none of them have done anything in these black communities that really need the help.
This is Patricia Cullors and her explanation, at least in part, for some of the tax documents.
I actually did not know what 990s were before all of this happened. Something's being weaponized against us that many people don't even know and honestly don't care about. It is such a trip now to hear the word, the term 990s. I'm like, ugh, it's like triggering.
Explain that one. Again, another false narrative.